Hi, I am Dr. Srirang Yadwadkar. I am general laparoscopic and laser surgeon practicing at Upasani Super Speciality Hospital. I am consultant herniologist and proctologist with special interest in hernia and robotic surgery.
Doctor, before we dive in, can you tell our listeners a bit about your journey? What inspired you to choose general surgery as your specialty?
To become a doctor was my grandmother and grandfather's wish. So I became MBBS when the point of specialty came. So at that time I thought surgery will be the perfect branch for me because it combines both science as well as skills also. When patient comes to you suffering with a pain or any other disease, whenever you operate, you can see the patient getting relief instantly after the surgery. So that drew my attraction, and so I decided to become a surgeon rather than a medical branch.
For someone who isn't from a medical background, what exactly does a general surgeon do? How is it different from other types of surgeons?
So a general surgeon, in short, is a general. That means he sees from head to toe everything. But the general surgery has evolved from open surgery to laparoscopy also. General surgeon sees from contusion, lacerated wounds to many complicated surgeries also.
When people hear the word surgery, they often get scared. What are some of the most common myths you've come across about surgery?
Absolutely, patient will be having fear because for us it is a routine. For patient, it is just a one-time surgery. So the most common questions asked are, first thing, will I get a huge scar after the surgery? Many a times patient will ask, will I get up after the anesthesia? Then third, once the surgery is done, I will be handicapped forever. So it is nothing like that. Scar doesn't mean that you had something wrong in your body. It is a sign of healing. Second, even after surgery with proper care and proper precautions, you can resume back to your normal routine. Like in pile surgery, many patients ask, will I get complete incontinence after the surgery? That means my anal control will be lost or not. That's the most common myth after any anal surgery, that patient will lose control and he will not able to control the motions, stools. But that is not true. So there is nothing to worry about the fear.
Can you explain the difference between an emergency surgery and a planned elective surgery? Maybe with a simple real-life example?
Emergency surgeries are done basically when there is a genuine emergency, and if it is not done on time, it can be life-threatening. Say there is an abscess, pus collected near the anal area, we have to drain it as early as possible, otherwise it will cause sepsis. Appendix, common example, you might have heard also about the appendix. If it is ruptured, pus is there in the abdomen, then you have to go ahead with the surgery as early as possible. Otherwise, patient will land up causing complications and it can be life-threatening also. Elective surgeries are decided and then electively. We can plan that surgeries, say hernia surgeries, gallbladder surgeries, pile surgeries, which we can evaluate and then plan.
How do surgeons decide when surgery is the best option and when it can be avoided with medication or other treatments?
See, surgery is the always last option that I see. Many surgeons will have different perceptions, but many things might help to avoid the surgery, such as lifestyle modification, dietary changes, changing a sedentary lifestyle to a exercise or that kind of lifestyle might avoid surgeries. Body is its own healer, so we should give body a chance to heal first. But if it is not healing, or if there is a clear-cut indication for the surgery, then surgery is the only and the best available option of treatment. So then at that time we should go ahead with the surgery rather than waiting for the medical management.
Technology has changed almost everything. How has it transformed modern surgery?
Initially, the myths were surgery means long cut, long incisions. That myth is not true anymore. With the advancement of technology, now we first evolve into a laparoscopy or a keyhole surgery where we make 3 to 4 holes in the body and we create a space and operate through that. That further evolved into a robotic surgery also, where the more precision, less pain, less scar. The motto of our surgery is healing wound without scars too.
We often hear about minimally invasive surgeries. What does that actually mean for patients? Is recovery really faster?
Definitely yes. Minimal invasive surgery means keyhole surgery. We make 3 or 4 holes in the body and through which we operate. Say an example of gallbladder surgery. Initially there was around 10-15 centimeter incision through which people used to operate. But with the advancement of laparoscopy, we make 3 to 4 holes through which we do surgeries in which there is no muscle cutting. With the further evolution in the laparoscopy, it's single hole surgery. We make a small around 2.5 to 3 centimeter cut. We put 2 to 3 instruments through that small incision only and we operate. So patient gets eventually around a 2 centimeter small scar. So there is obviously less pain, faster recovery, less scar, early mobilization, short hospital stay. So the patient having very much comfortable after such keyhole surgeries.
What role does teamwork play in the operation theatre? Who are the key people apart from the surgeon?
The surgery, I would say, is like a cricket match. So surgeon is the captain. Obviously, unsung heroes are the anesthetists. They are the wicket keepers. Imagine surgery without anesthesia, team without a wicket keeper. So every ball will be a boundary if there is no wicket keeper. So anesthetists are the wicket keeper, I would say. Apart from the surgeon, OT staff, assistant nurses, rather than OT people, all hospital staff and hospital supportive people are also important in the surgery. So basically, it is a teamwork. Surgeon only has to lead the team. He alone can't do anything. It is always a surgery is always a teamwork.
What should a patient do before undergoing any surgery, physically and mentally, to prepare themselves?
Patient should be mentally prepared first. Our sir used to say, patient should demand surgery. You should not command. So unless until the patient is prepared for surgery, you should not advise him surgery. So because the post-operative recovery depends upon the patient's willpower. Obviously, anxiety is very common because for the patient it is definitely going to be anxious. But getting all the information about the surgery, knowing the procedure from the surgeon and mental preparedness is important for a patient. That will help for the post-operative recovery also.
Post-surgery recovery can be challenging. What are the most common mistakes patients make after an operation?
After surgery, many people feel that I am fit immediately. That's not true. People try to do too many things too soon after the surgery. So, patience that is needed for the patient to get recovered completely. Like say after any wound surgery, proper dressings are needed, regular follow-up with the doctor that is needed, proper medication. Skipping medications is not an ideal thing to do. So in such cases, patient also follow the instructions given by the doctor, and unless until he is completely recovered, he should not start to do everything. There will be always restrictions after some surgery, like say hernia surgery. There will be restriction to avoid weight for some days, say a month or 6 weeks. So that care should be taken by the patients.
Many people worry about scars or pain after surgery. How do you help them overcome these concerns?
Scar is the least important thing to worry about. With the advancement of anesthesia techniques and fine suture techniques, evolvement of absorbable thread, there are nowadays very minimal scars seen after the surgery. Pain management is obviously done best by the anesthetist, and nowadays very good painkillers are there. So as such, there will be no as much pain and scar issues. Even after, in case of bad scar, the treatment modalities like laser treatment, silicone gel applications, ointments are there to lighten the scar. So I don't think scar is a big issue nowadays.
In your years of experience, have you seen lifestyle habits that lead to more surgical problems? Maybe diet, exercise, or stress-related issues?
Yes, definitely. Lifestyle modification is always a best medicine to avoid the surgery. Say sedentary lifestyle, changing your dietary habit. Many people eat a lot of junk food, oily, spicy food. Changing that food to a healthy food, green leafy vegetables, salads. Definitely that will reduce the problems of constipation related issues like piles, hernias. Regular exercise, regular running, that will help prevent obesity and obesity related diseases. So definitely lifestyle modification is a key to avoid the surgeries also.
Are there any surgeries you think people could actually prevent just by changing their habits early?
Yes, the common example are perineal problems. Many people will have piles, fissures. Lifestyle modification, say good diet, fibrous diet will help to avoid the constipation, causing less piles. Constipation, less training habits will avoid hernias. Even lack of sleep, lack of healthy food will lead to acidity, will cause gallbladder issues. So lifestyle modification has definitely a role in a disease management, definitely, apart from surgery.
How do you stay calm and focused when every decision in the operation theatre can be life-changing?
See, that will depend upon your learning, I feel. Long years of training and experience will definitely help you in such cases. 90%, rather I would say 99% are the surgeries done at a spinal level once you have got enough good training and experience. But there comes a 1% cases. These cases are really challenging where you need to think. There is always a gray area in the decision making. You have to first trust yourself as a surgeon, trust your team, trust your ICU department, trust your anesthetist. So as a team, you need to work. I could remember one case where there was an obstructed hernia patient came to me after 4 days of gap. The patient was in a crucial condition. Say he was an 80-year-old guy with obstructed hernia. When we opened, I found there was a bowel whose condition was I would say it is a very congested bowel. So the dilemma was whether to cut that bowel or whether to try to preserve that bowel. Because if we cut the bowel and rejoin it for an age of 80, it will be a very major surgery. If we preserve that bowel and if it doesn't heal of its own, then patient will need resurgery. So at that time, with the help of my colleague surgeons, anesthetists, by giving 100% oxygen, warm water, wash and 100% FiO2, we took the decision of preserving that bowel. And luckily, the patient survived. So at such time, you need to believe yourself first, your team first, and always one great surgeon said that Ambrose Paré had said, I just operated, he heals. He means basically a God. So I do believe in God. So there is always will be a supernatural power that will help you if you believe in yourself.
Finally, doctor, what's one simple but powerful tip you'd like to give everyone to take better care of their health and possibly avoid surgery?
Your body is the best machine, rather I would say. Your body is the best investigation tool. Your body gives always alarms. Say any disturbance while sitting, any mild pain, any mild discomfort, don't ignore that thing. The main culprit is negligence by the patient. That many people think, अरे ये तो है, he'll अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगा. It's not that the way to think. So always consult a surgeon whenever you feel any small distress, any pain. So as I will say, which consulted on time may save your future stitches 9.